watch this, Tenet has either been delayed again, or you are watching at a time when the movie has finally been released to the world. Personally, I'm very excited, and there clearly are huge secrets and mysteries surrounding this movie. A cast of relatively newer, more affordable actors, yet a budget that dwarfs 2010's Inception.
This is a dream, and you have a safe full of secrets. I need to know what's in that safe.
Nolan has pulled surprises on us before, and the rumours that Tenet may be an Inception sequel seem both ridiculous, yet also very, very compelling. Today though, I want to speculate on just where Nolan might, and in my opinion should be headed next. Bond. Daniel Craig was essentially begged to do one last Bond movie.
You knew I wouldn't let this drop, didn't you?
To me, this just smacks of a studio forced into a plan B, as their main goal wasn't within reach. Bond is one of the last great franchises. Its history far outdates any of the modern great franchises, even preceding Star Wars by 20-odd years.
Rachel's told me everything about you.
I certainly hope not.
If you're a filmmaker of any age, Bond will have been a huge influence on your career. If you're British, then it's even more special.
Don't forget my pathetic love of country.
This is a clip of Daniel Craig with the Queen at the London 2012 Olympics. Nolan is known to be a huge fan. He's spoken of his deep love of the character. Tenet looks and feels in so many ways like a spy movie. And he's gone on record as saying he's banned himself from watching old Bond movies while making Tenet. The Spy Who Loved Me blew him away.
One should delve deeply into its treasures.
In particular, the scene where the Lotus Esprit turns into a submarine. I too remember seeing this as a kid. I mean, how cool is this? So what evidence do we have that Nolan would be a great fit for Bond? Well, he makes blockbusters. His movies are consistently allocated the biggest budgets.
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
Just pay him whatever he wants.
And he casts the biggest stars.
In order for this all to work, you need to completely let me in.
The production design, the styling, the slick suits, the costumes, globe-trotting to glamorous locations around the world.
Inspiration, right?
Plus, Nolan's direction of big-scale stunts and practical effects would be a perfect fit for Bond. Right now, Bond desperately needs a shot in the arm. Its recent peak Skyfall was the absolute pinnacle of the series and epitomises Daniel Craig's interpretation of Bond.
Really?
I'll be doing a special video on the genius of Daniel Craig's Bond soon. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, as I promise you it will be so in-depth, and I will also speculate as to who the major candidates are to take over from Daniel Craig and who I think that's going to be. The last time Nolan handled a franchise and committed to a series of movies was Batman. It's roundly regarded as the catalyst for the resurgence of the modern superhero movie. It was dark, gritty, and a totally plausible retelling of the superhero series. The opening of Batman Begins looks and feels like the start of a Bond movie, an origin story if you will, a journey. Working with incredible actors, he took the well-known comic book characters and made them terrifying.
Why so serious?
Directing Heath Ledger as what can now be accepted as one of the great villainous performances of all time.
Well, hello, beautiful.
We miss you, Heath. This is significant because Bond villains are as important, and if not more important in many instances, than the character of Bond himself. A few years ago, Nolan appeared on Desert Island Discs. He denied that he would be involved in a near-future Bond project, but wouldn't rule it out.
There are huge swirling rumours that you indeed will be the man to make the next Bond
Well,
movie.
I won't
I'm giving
be
you
the
this
man.
opportunity.
Yeah, I won't
in
be the
front
man.
Of no, you won't be.
No, categorically, and I think every time they hire a new director, I'm sort of rumoured to be doing it. But I mean, I'd love to make a Bond film at some point.
Tom Hardy, longtime collaborator of Nolan, has said he would consider the role if Nolan was involved.
You never know.
Again, I have some theories on this and why it could work, but it also has major hurdles.
You need imagination.
So listen, ensure you subscribe because that video about the next Bond is going to be a ton of fun.
No, it isn't.
Nolan has been clear, Bond would have to be on his terms.
Understands that invisibility is...
His vision must be given room to breathe. To me, this translates, at least in my eyes, as room to breathe over several movies, like he did with Batman. For this level of power and responsibility, Nolan would have to be at the very top of his game, which right now, who would argue against? Nolan is surely the premier director working in Hollywood today.
Gravity's punishing.
So let's agree that he's ready. What does a Nolan Bond movie look like? It would need to be a definitive take on Bond, one that stood out from the crowd. This is a challenge given how incredible Daniel Craig is as Bond.
Bond. James.
For me, I'd love to see a genuine origin story, a gritty journey from soldier to SAS to eventual recruitment into MI6. Imagine how visually rich it would be if it was to be approached as a period piece set in the 60s, a throwback to the Sean Connery Bond. Here we see the Craig biopic Legend starring Tom Hardy, which again gives a little glimpse of what it could look like.
You look lovely.
So do you.
There are of course alternative theories. Christopher McQuarrie and Henry Cavill in the role of Bond strikes as a plan B to me, albeit a cool one.
Doesn't get any more Russian than the Red Peril here.
Nolan must surely be the prize. The director that the series deserves and that the studio craves. I think the deal has been done. I think Nolan is committed and ready to work on a huge story arc and reinvention of the character. Clearly, Tenet being delayed has unsettled the marketing machine. So hit the comments with your thoughts. I know you're all going to have theories and ideas, and I'm really excited to read them. I'll be sure to include the best ones in my video about the next actor to take up James Bond. Don't forget to like and subscribe. All your interactions and engagements help me out so much. So I've been Misquoted, and this has been Misquoted on Movies, and I'll see you next time.